There is no reason, no excuse not to do this unless you are just or you can't imagine life without all the what you think is pleasure you get from stuffing your face full of all that pseudo Franken food that we're eating, ruining your health. And then, if you have any time left over from shopping, cooking, and eating, you'll probably be spending it in the waiting room at the doctor's office. Well, good morning, everybody. It's me, Mitch. And today, I want to talk about two of the things that I think are some of the biggest concerns that people have about carnivore. How much does it cost? And how much time does it take? And we're going to address both of them while I go about and make myself breakfast, which fits right in to the subject. One of the things about carnivore that I think is one of the most attractive things is that it is probably one of the simplest and most sustainable diets that there are. And it's the simplicity of it that really helps make it sustainable. So let's talk about first how much time it takes. The length of this video is going to pretty much show you the length of time that it takes for me to cook probably my most time-consuming meal, and that is bacon and eggs. It doesn't take me 5 or 10 minutes to make a steak. If I put it in a sous vide, I have to spend a couple minutes putting it in, but the sous vide does the work, and that basically takes a couple hours, but that's not taking my time. It's kind of a set it and forget it thing. The bacon and eggs does require some of my time, and you're going to see how much time it actually takes. I get the bacon in the pan here, and then all I have to do is just kind of keep an eye on it while it cooks and just monitor things. Get my eggs ready to go. I have made some notes here, and I'm going to refer to them because I want to get the numbers right. So you'll pardon me if I have a little scripting here. So let's talk first about the shopping, about how much time that I have to spend shopping. You've seen videos of me at Sam's Club. I go to Sam's Club once or twice a week, and that's about it. I'm usually in and out of there in 15 minutes. So I doubt, maybe a trip to Aldi's too, and that's a 5-minute thing, but I doubt that I spend more in total an hour a week shopping, and that's it. That's because I don't buy a wide range of things. I buy bacon, I buy eggs, I buy beef, I buy chicken wings, I buy some fish, smoked salmon, and pork rinds. And basically that's about it. So I would say on an average week I spend no more than 1 hour of my time shopping. And in that respect, looking at other people shopping with their huge carts full of stuff, I can tell you without hesitation that if you're just doing this for yourself or even for a family and they're all on carnivore with you, that's how much time you're gonna spend. It is very freeing, and of course I don't have to worry about what I'm going to do with my spare time, because I have a life. And my life now isn't about food. My YouTube channel is about food. But my life, I have all the time in the world. Even if I worked, this would still take a minimum amount of time. Now, if I worked, I'd probably have to eat out a little more. And of course, this stuff wouldn't apply, but it does to me, and I'm using myself as the example here. So, I spend less than an hour a week, and that's it. But even more important than that for most people is the misconception that carnivore is fabulously expensive because you eat a lot of meat. And meat is expensive. What people don't focus on is what you don't eat. And if you look at the prices of all the garbage out there on a pound for pound basis, I guarantee you Pop-Tarts, I guarantee you breakfast cereals, I guarantee you all of that heavily sugar-laden crap that we eat costs a lot more per pound than a ribeye steak, and especially more per pound than hamburger. So let's take a look at what this breakfast that I'm having here, and I call it breakfast because whether it's 10 o'clock in the morning or 2 in the afternoon, it's my first meal of the day. I broke this down and I did the calculations. I generally eat a half a pound of bacon and 5 eggs. That cost me $3.80. $3.80 for 5 eggs, which I will break right now. And I do this, I would say, 6 out of the 7 days a week. I have this as my first meal. Interestingly enough, I look forward to it every day. There's nothing else that I'd rather eat than this. The thought of having any sweet, grain-laden particular food instead of this doesn't appeal to me. I think part of that is the bacon, and I view bacon as kind of like meat candy. It just tastes so great, and it is so good for you. It's got healthy fats, a lot of monounsaturated fats. It's got minerals and potassium and amino acids and vitamins and all the things that we need. And who doesn't like bacon? Excuse me while I beat my eggs. Okay, now eggs are, and I've said this before, but bears repeating. Eggs are nature's perfect multivitamin capsule. Everything in an egg is stuff that we need. Chicken comes out of the egg. It was built of everything in the egg, not a single thing from the outside. And that always amazes me. So everything in the egg is virtually every amino acid, vitamin, mineral, and everything else, protein that you need to build a living thing. And that, I don't know where you could go for one thing, certainly not vitamin pills out of a bottle, and get that amount of vitamins. If you can get over all the cholesterol hype and the fat hype, because an egg is exactly the right ratio of fats to protein, makes it real easy. You don't have to count anything. You know, when you eat bacon and you eat eggs, you're getting the exact amount of fat and protein to prosper on this diet. So I have spent $3.80 on this one meal. Now, For my second meal of the day, and I eat during a 4, maybe 5 hour max eating window, I will eat 5 to 6 days a week. I'll eat some kind of beef. I kind of alternate steak and burgers. I might eat steak 2 to 3 times a week, and the rest of the time for my second meal, I'll make hamburger. So a steak, a pound steak, the way I buy the markup meat and I buy my prime ribs when Publix has them on sale and freeze them, I would say maximum $10 for that meal, maybe $8, $7 for the steaks. And the hamburger is usually $4 or $4.50 a pound for 80-20 chuck or something like that. So if you average the two together, I would say that my average second meal is going to cost me, let's say, $6 to $8, depending on whether I have hamburger or steak. So we are still, with those two meals, not considering the times where I may eat some chicken or I may eat some ribs or pork or something like that, but we are looking at less than an average of $10 a day, maybe $11 a day for me to eat a couple pounds of food, healthy food, all animal products. And even if it's $12 a day, that's still below the average that our average American human being spends. And I looked up the averages, and they usually came to $350 to $400 a month. I personally don't know anybody out there that's not carnivore that doesn't spend almost double that every month by the time they figure eating out in restaurants, stopping at the convenience stores, buying the junk food, the soft drinks, and all the other crap that they get. So for me, I cannot live any cheaper than I'm living on a carnivore diet. Now, occasionally, like when I have a half a rack of ribs, I'll have that instead of the beef meal. A half a rack of ribs costs me $2.50. If I eat chicken wings or chicken thighs, that serving costs me $4.50. The only indulgence that I have is every once in a while, I'll eat about 1/3 of a pound of smoked salmon, and that costs me $4. So even with all those things thrown in, the average cost of my second meal is only about $7. Let me turn this bacon over before I burn it. But I like my bacon crisp. Well, got carried away there, but that's going to be delicious anyway. I got to turn the range hood on. So that's what it costs me. So, for example, for my second meal today, I've got a pound of hamburger here, all defrosted, and that's what I'm going to eat. And a pound of hamburger costs me, well, I buy 10 pounds of that stuff at Sam's Club for less than $40, so it's $3.80 or something a pound. And with that, I'm eating cheap. I'm eating very cheap. Now, the other consideration here, I wrote down here that my total cost per day is less than $11 pretty much, no matter what I eat. The cleanup from this, if you can see, is I have one pan, I'll have one plate, and one thing. My cleanup is going to be 5-10 minutes maximum, and that's the most. If I have to clean the air fryer, maybe it takes an extra 5 minutes to soak the grill or the basket, but cleanup is quick. So I would say that doing the dishes, I average maybe 10 to 15 minutes a day. Takes me eating maybe 30 to 45 minutes a day I actually spend eating. So that's it. I mean, it takes so little time. I don't think about food. And the only other thing I have down here is meal planning. My answer to that is what meal planning? The night before, I go into the refrigerator, into the freezer. I say, well, I'm going to have bacon and eggs tomorrow. And what else? What else am I going to have besides bacon and eggs? Well, I'm going to have either hamburger or a steak. So my meal planning is I take a hamburger or a steak, or maybe some chicken wings or fish out of the freezer, put it in the refrigerator, and voila, meal planning accomplished. So I spend no time meal planning, 0 time meal planning. So I don't know how much time has elapsed so far. We'll find out how long this video is. And that's how long it took me to prepare what is the most labor-intensive meal of my day, and that is my bacon and my eggs. And we'll get a head start on the cleanup here. I saved the bacon grease in this handy-dandy little thing with a strainer. Perfect. I got this from Amazon. Go to my website at oldguycarnivore.com and look at the page that says stuff I use every day. There's Amazon links in there for everything that I use, supplements, pots and pans, air fryer, whatever. If you're interested in that, that's where you can find it. So, we just got to wait till the egg is done. And then I'll be done. Doesn't get any simpler than this. I mean, there is no lifestyle relating to food that you can do any quicker, easier, or cheaper than this. And since this is the healthiest way for a human being to eat, there's no downside to it. Can you do it? Can you succeed on it? The only thing that's going to stop you is your reliance and your addiction to, number one, food in general, a preoccupation with food, worrying about food. What are we going to eat? How are we going to prepare it? What are we going to shop? You know, because food is just that important to everybody. And the whole purpose here is to decrease the actual importance of the act of eating, so you have time to do other things. You have time to live. So you basically, the old saying, you eat to live. You don't live to eat. This kind of personifies that philosophy. So, we are just about done here. I don't think that took too long, but that is going to hold me over until my next meal in about 3 to 4 hours. And even washing the pan, you don't even, with this pan, I don't even have to wash it if I don't want. I can take a paper towel, just wipe the crumbs out of it. But I'll wash it with a little soap and water. So, there you are. Voila, it's done. This is my breakfast. And bacon's a little well done, but it's going to be great. So I'm going to go eat this. You think about the things that I've said. There is no reason, no excuse not to do this unless you are just, or you can't imagine life without all the what you think is pleasure you get from stuffing your face full of all that pseudo Franken food that we're eating, ruining your health. And then, if you have any time left over from shopping, cooking, and eating, you'll probably be spending it in the waiting room at the doctor's office. Not me. Take the rest of the day off, everybody, and eat meat.